Welcome back, everybody. My name is Fausto from Fausto Home Living, and today I'm going to teach you how to grow homegrown figs in your garden. Juicy, sweet, delicious, and very healthy. So don't go anywhere. Let's get started. All right, now we're in that part of the season. We're in September, late September, and now it's time to start eating the fruit. The problem is you're not going to get fruit unless you start pruning the tops of these branches like this, probably at least a month or month and a half. Once you prune it, what that's going to do, it's going to stop the energy of the tree from growing, and then that's going to force the fruit to actually start ripening. Now, if you look at these fruits right here, you're like, wow, these things are never going to turn green. But then all of a sudden, bam, they just pop within days. So once you start seeing that, you're like, oh, am I going to prune fruit? And all of a sudden, you're looking at a branch like this one, and like, look, this is not going to grow, and then boom, these things just pop out of nowhere. So if you want to start getting fruit, because sometimes people are like, oh my God, it's getting late in the season and you're worried about having a cold year, and then all of a sudden, like, and you're not ready for the right time. If you don't do that, you're going to ruin your season of having good quality figs and ripe figs at the right time when you want them. So don't forget, you have to prune them at least a month or a month and a half before your season ends. Now, being here in New York, I would say, like I said, we're at the end of September. I did this in the beginning of August, which I still thought was a little late, but by doing that, now I'm starting to get pruning fruit. This tree right here, let me just tell you, I probably get roughly between 20 to 30 figs a day. Now I'm really starting to prune. I started getting about 2 or 3. Now I'm getting 20 to 30 a day. This tree right here probably has close to several hundred figs on it. You won't even imagine. Every leaf has a fig. And figs grow in between. So imagine how many figs we have, how many leaves we have. That's how many figs we have. So what you're looking at right here is this is a fresh cut that was done about a month and a half ago. You could see that you think like, oh my God, I'm never gonna get figs. And all of a sudden, you're like, where the hell did this come from? And here you're having figs that this was probably looking like this maybe about a week ago, and this is what happens within 2 days after that. So they just pop out of nowhere. Look at that. That is what you want to look for. You see how the skin starts cracking? Once it cracks like that, that means that that's now the sugar is getting in there. It's popping with juice. Let's check it out. Look at that. Skin peels off nice and easy. Delicious. I can eat these all day. All right, so now you probably want to know, when is the perfect time to take the fig off the tree? So what you have to do is you want to feel them and you want to squeeze them, okay? You'll see some of them a little bit firm, but this one right here, if you look at it, see how it started cracking? That means that it's packed with juice in it. This is what you're looking for. Now we see how the skin comes off. That's a good fig. Now, time to time, you might get a bad one. How do you get a bad one? You're looking for your figs, and this is what you got to be careful of. If you look right here, you got attacked. So, when you do it a fig like this, what do? You give it to the chickens. Let's go take a look. So we can get them over here. So one little trick that I try to do to keep the insects off, sometimes I put a little duct tape around it so the insects can't crawl up the tree, because those are one thing. You could also get, you could buy it online, put some sap around it, some tar sap that they have to prevent the insects that they use to prevent moths. But that's a good way of kind of keeping all the insects from walking up, especially the ants. Ants love figs. So it kind of prevents them from getting stuck and going up the tree, and going up and down the tree. You believe me, there's a lot of them. If you really want to grow a really nice fig tree, they love to eat. And there's no better place to plant a fig tree than by a compost. You want good figs? You want a big fig tree? You want it to grow fast? Because they grow huge. They'll grow 15, 20 feet. Plant it next to a compost or right next to your garden. Just make sure it gets not super sunlight, too much sunlight, and not too much water. And that will be a good start to get a good, healthy fig tree. Now, as you see these fig trees around the property, they say you should space fig trees close to 20 feet away from the house. Obviously, I didn't follow and got the memo, so I planted them a little bit closer. And you can see now that this one fig tree that is my largest fig tree, it's getting pretty big and it's getting pretty close, and I have now to start tying it up close to the house. So yes, you do want to give it, but I was always just taught when I was younger, try to keep, because we have cold winters, you don't want these to be exposed. Some Italians, they go out there and they wrap them up in, wrap them in the winter season. I never wrap my fig trees. I mean, as long as not being exposed to too much cold and weather, you could see, yes, I agree, but if you have it in a nice place, they should be fine. You just gotta prune them down really, really low when it comes to the end of the season. Now, when it comes to planting a fig tree, the best place to plant it near a wall, because they'll get less exposure, less beat up by the wind. And it's not the summertime that gives it the issue, it's the winter that's worried about it. You don't want them to get freeze burn. Now, you'll notice fig trees run, figs themselves run very small. They have large ones, and listen, I don't know if you've been to Europe where you can find large figs. The bigger they are, the less fruit you're gonna get. It's like sunflowers. You could have those big sunflowers, you get this one big sunflower, you get small ones, you get hundreds of them. So usually that's how that goes about. Now, fig trees can grow very, very fast. They have very slow growers in the beginning, but after 2-3 years, they start out growing about a foot a year, but fig trees can grow up to 30 feet. My fig tree probably grows between 3 and 5 feet a year, which is pretty fast. And the bigger they grow, the more fruit you're gonna get. Here's a couple of good facts to know about figs and why not only do I like eating them, they taste good, but they're also very good for building a digestive immune system. It helps with your colon inflammation. It even helps with great bowel cleansing. And most of all, it even helps with Alzheimer's, Parkinson, and dementia, they say. So why not eat figs? These are what they call brown Turkish figs. These are actually some of the most popular figs you'll find. There's black figs, there's green figs. There's literally almost 2,000 varieties of figs out there, but these are one of the most popular ones. I've tried to plant other ones. Just really couldn't do it up here up north. So that's why you want to kind of try different varieties depending on where you are, in the world or in the country, and see which one's going to take. But you can't just plant one fig tree. You got to plant a few of them and try them on different areas of your property. Giving them not too much sunlight. Make sure you plant them next to a really nice place where they could eat, where the roots could eat. You want maybe next to a compost, maybe next to your garden. But this is the outcome of what we get for a day. Beautiful figs. Hi again. Once again, my name is Fausto, and I would like to thank you for coming and watching how to grow home figs in your garden. Just like us, friend us, leave a compliment here on the bottom. Maybe you had a comment or something. Be happy to answer it for you. But don't forget to watch upcoming events, and we look forward to seeing you in another show at Fausto Home Living.